Welcome back to America's Retirement Headquarters, home of the Retirement Guys Formula, retirement tax partners at America's Medicare Associates with Nolan Baker and Chaz Price. ARHQ.com is the website. Find out more about the team, the methodology behind their strategies. Set up a time to speak with them or give a call, 419-794-3030. We have certainly heard of people leaving their jobs due to burnout, but one psychologist says there's something new that is emerging that he is calling bore-out, when workers feel, underwhelmed. And it's been more noticeable with the shift to remote and hybrid work the past couple of years. A new survey found that retirees can also suffer from bore-out. It shows that of the seniors who recently unretired, more than a third of them said it was just quite frankly because of boredom. Now, when retirees come to you seeking advice on an encore career, what do you tell them? Do you address the bore-out factor before they retire?
I think there's definitely advice for retirees who want to unretire. And, when you think about the area of unretirement, I think first, number one, you want to clarify your why. Chaz, I know you do a lot of financial plans, and we run financial plans, and we're looking at different scenarios for folks. And, for some folks who end up going back to work, maybe they do some part-time work, maybe they do some consulting work. The why could come down to the need of additional income. It could be a situation like some clients that I have where she works 2 days a week, but because of her working 2 days a week, they're able to get health care to bridge the health care needs until they get to age 65. It could be more for social interaction. I know now that hockey season is over for my son, my weekends have become a little bit more free and clear, and I'm not always on the go. But if I sit down at home for a day or two and I don't do something, I definitely would get boredom. So I think, so retirees definitely get bored as well. They want to utilize their talents that they have. I think sometimes it could be, doing it through a source of generated income or, also using it as an opportunity for charities and getting more involved in the things that are out there as well. Mm-hmm. So you got to look at your why.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's definitely a difference between being forced back to work and just not having, enough to do. And so you're going to, find something to do and find something to do with your time. So, yeah, I would agree with that. It just kind of comes to mind and a book that I read. It's called The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. It was a couple of years ago, but he talked about a concept of mini retirements. And this is kind of something maybe some of our clients might, if you're already retired or if you're approaching retirement, this might be an option. But instead of waiting until your 60s and 70s, he says, take little mini retirements throughout life. Take some time off if you have the ability, travel for a couple of months, take a sabbatical, and explore a hobby, learn some new skills, travel abroad maybe, and then go back to work. If you are, if you have the ability to do that, and kind of just you're utilizing your life energy while you have it most. You're still kind of in the work mode. You're revitalizing yourself. So that's a solution. If I have the option to do that, but definitely it's a difficult one to think about because once you retire, most people I would think wouldn't want to go back. But it sounds like there's a lot of folks that are, going back to work through boredom. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you do unretire, the other thing is you want to understand the financial impact. So, maybe somebody who was able to retire at the age 60 and maybe they kicked on Social Security at 62 because a lot of people will start Social Security at 62. But what they don't understand is that they do go back to some type of full income and their income goes too high before they reach their full retirement age, they could suffer significant benefits and reductions of Social Security by working. The issues like taxes, how is going back to work going to impact things like your Medicare premiums because of IRMA and excess Medicare premiums that you have? If you're over the required minimum distribution age, how is it going to impact those type of things? So, unretiring, I think, can give you a lot of flexibility. There can be some significant positives, whether it is designed to go back to work to generate income. Maybe you're going to use your life's talents to help. And if income isn't an important issue, maybe it's, serving our veterans or a philanthropic organization. I know Courtney at the office would probably love to volunteer at an organization that helped animals and puppies, right?
Cats.
Yes.
I love cats.
She'd do that all day long. And, she'd unretire just to be able to spend some time. You got to figure out your why. What we can do at our office is help you figure out the how and also figure out the impact, and then develop a plan where it kind of overlaps to talk to you about what that looks like when you decide to unretire.
Yeah. And the term I use sometimes with my clients is don't just retire from something, retire into something.
Whether it is a phased retirement, if you've got the luxury of that, just kind of taking a slow step, dipping your toe into the pool, so to speak, or unretiring, hopefully out of desire rather than necessity. It's not out of the realm of possibility. It doesn't have to be this finite chapter where you retire and that's the end of the story. You do want to make sure that you understand what the implications are either way, whether it is healthcare, how you're going to take care of that, or perhaps Social Security getting taxed because you're making too much money, but understanding what, getting back into the workforce or continuing to stay in the workforce can look like. It's just another set of the numbers that the team at America's Retirement Headquarters can run for you and help show you what that's going to look like. All it takes to begin that process, reaching out, setting up a time, start putting a plan in place for whatever your retirement goals may look like. You can do that by giving a call, 419-794-3030. One last time, that's 419-794-3030. Or you can go to the website, arhq.com. As always, want to thank you for joining us here on the show, joining us here on America's Retirement Headquarters. Hope you have a great week ahead of you. Gentlemen, always a pleasure. Thanks so much. And as we wrap up, want to leave you with the final word.
Yeah, kind of ended on the topic of unretiring. It talks about the next chapter. So we'll be back with your next chapter on the How to Retire series here on Toledo's largest talk station, of course, on your favorite podcast and our YouTube channel. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Either way, we'll be back next week, same time, same channel. And just remember, when you think retirement, think America's Retirement Headquarters. It's home for your entire retirement.